Welcome to the garage. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux, Pete's here. Mike O'Reilly's still here. You've been here for 3 days.
I'm on a media junket.
As a brilliant journalist, and he knows where all the bodies are buried. He's thousands. He's been an often guest on the Friday show around the dining room table. Thank you. And Gary is, of course, there as well.
Yeah, always.
Good, wonderful. Now, tomorrow, being Friday, I thought we might talk about things that we don't see anymore. You know, jeremycordeaux.com, 9 a.m, 0491 65 68 60 is the phone number. Things that we don't see anymore. People wearing those copper bracelet things, which are supposed to stop arthritis. You don't know. These days you don't see anyone wearing a copper bracelet. Trafficators on cars. I think I got 2 or 3 cars here with trafficators. You know, you go into a pub, you could go into a pub and have counter meals. You don't see counter meals anymore. Blimps, advertising. Blimps. Not anymore. Those, oh, I like this one. Those rubber straps that used to hang down on the back of cars, supposedly to fix car sickness. You never see that anymore. Did people come to their senses? Did people go out and buy those things and put them there for no reason?
Anti-static.
Anti-static, yeah. Yeah. Carbon impregnated rubber straps to diffuse the static electricity that your car built up as it moved down the street. What else? Mr Whippy vans playing Greensleeves down the street, and kids would come from everywhere with their 5 cents or 10 cents or 5 pennies or phone boxes. Whatever happened to phone boxes?
There's one in my backyard.
Oh, you went out and bought a phone box?
They're all tool sheds these days.
I love a phone box. Yeah. I love a phone box. Particularly those ones where it was 2 cents to make a call. No, it was 2 pennies to make a call. Those searchlights that used to pop up at opening nights. No, they used to bring searchlights around. In fact, what happened to opening nights? I haven't seen an opening night for years. Haven't been invited to an opening night for years. Things you don't see anymore. Tomorrow, round the dining room table. 9 o'clock, jeremycordeaux.com. With all the best wishes of Rossdale Homes, when trust is a must, which it is in most aspects of life, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen. I see that some of the ISIS brides who have been charged have appeared in court, well represented. Who pays those legal fees? I don't know. They're basically charged with belonging to a terrorist organization. That, of course, in the United States, would send you straight to Gitmo, to Guantanamo Bay, without a trial. And that nice orange jumpsuit. It might interest you to know that there has not been one person brought before a court on such charges who has actually suffered any penalty whatsoever. So I ask you, is this window dressing on the part of the government? Or is it justice in action? You might like to call me on that too. Our sponsors, as I said, Rossdale Homes, a wonderful family-owned company with their absolute fixed price guarantee. You get a builder who will build you your dream home, whether it's your first or your 10th, doesn't matter. Their slogan is and has been for years, trust is a must. Their fixed price contract is something that only you can change the price of. They can't lift the price. Only you can do that. For peace of mind and great quality, rossdalehomes.com.au. Now, this is the most, I'm quoting here, this is the most ambitious budget in 25 years. Really, Treasurer? Really? Ambitious, Mr. Treasurer. Ambitious for whom? You've taken a good word, ambition, and given it an absolutely different meaning. You may have ambition, and that's good, but it's not for the working men and women of Australia. You may be ambitious for yourself. The Prime Minister has described in numerous interviews in the last couple of weeks this budget as being aspirational. Well, I'm all for aspiration. Is there anybody in the House, anybody in the media who will ask him to explain how his budget is aspirational? How is it aspirational? Just ask him. Has he gagged you? I don't understand it. It would have been less hypocritical of the Prime Minister to have made public the fact that in recent times he has pocketed more than $200,000, taking advantage of John Howard's capital gains tax discount with the sale of several investment properties in Sydney and Canberra. He has taken advantage of that which he has just denied to others. And just for the record, I want to make it clear that I have no skin in this game. I am not disadvantaged personally by this budget in any way. My outrage and opposition comes from my sense of justice and fair play and honesty. People, particularly politicians, should not be able to lie and get away with it. Treasury came out, or maybe they didn't come out, maybe they were sent out during the week to help with the sales job, and said, I love the line she delivered, well, the government has got to get the money from somewhere. Really? No, there's another way. You can live within your means. You have a finite amount of tax money, revenue, that you collect. You spend or allocate that money. You don't go into debt. You don't put us into debt. You don't come back to us for more. You manage the economy. That's what I would imagine the Treasury is there for and paid to do. Paul Keating also came up during the week in the media saying, I hope I've got this right because he sues at the drop of a hat. Anyone who doesn't disagree with and in fact doesn't like paying the extra taxes introduced in this budget is just plain greedy. Naked greed, he said. Naked greed. This man is on a lifetime taxpayer-funded pension of more than $400,000 a year. Plus he gets an office and staff fully equipped and maintained, domestic travel up to 30 domestic flights a year, official transport, access to a private plated vehicle or option, he can retain a driver for official duties, international travel with accompanying staff. It goes on and on and on and on. The whole package is worth getting close to $2 million a year. But I don't remember Paul Keating saying thank you to the taxpayers of Australia. He's a multimillionaire, and I don't resent his success. He left school at 15. About the same time I left school, really. I left school to look after my mother. I don't know why he left school, but maybe he didn't get on in that environment. I would think of Paul Keating as a Chardonnay socialist, a kind of a limousine lefty. French clocks, fine Italian suits, a man of exquisite taste. An admirable man. The risk that Labour runs is that they have probably never heard of the Laffer curve. Not many people have. Arthur Laffer, who famously sketched on a napkin in a restaurant in 1974, his famous Laffer curve. It operates on the simple principle that a government collects zero tax revenue at a zero tax rate, right? And also collects zero tax at a 100% tax rate. And since nobody would bother working at all if his total income was seized, bleeding obvious, you might say, but not to this crowd. We're getting very close to producing a total disincentive to work. Government's reliance on income tax is just stupid. With income tax, oh golly, I won't be able to remember them all. I'll miss a few. You may be able to fill in the gaps tomorrow. There's the Medicare tax levy. There's a super Medicare tax levy if you decide you don't want to be privately health insured. There's the FBT, the fringe benefits tax, all of the excises on petrol, beer, alcohol, cigarettes, road taxes, stamp duties, car registration, licence fees, tolls, luxury car tax. Everywhere you look there are taxes, levies, excises and fees. We have reached beyond the tipping point. That is, the government is taking more than 50% of every dollar that every Australian working man and woman makes. And that means, quite frankly, people are not going to put up with it. Perhaps they can't get rid of the taxes, but they can get rid of this greedy, thoughtless government and maybe elect one that is a little more thoughtful, understanding of, helpful to the working people of Australia. Think about that. There should be a refocusing, an emphasis on consumption, because that's the tax that we choose to pay. You have a choice to pay it or not. Now, we've seen this coming for a long time because they floated an idea going back, I can't remember, maybe 6 months, 9 months ago, the idea of unrealised capital gains. Anyone who could come up with this was an evil genius. The idea of taxing a gain which you've made on an investment but haven't realised is unbelievable. It tells you everything you need to know about this government. And keep in mind that Paul Keating was the man who said that Australia has to do something because we have the lowest share ownership in the world. Australians just didn't buy shares. So he introduced the fully franked dividend to encourage people to invest. He understood incentive. The idea worked brilliantly. This budget will demolish that, which will drag down the share market, which will affect everybody's superannuation fund, which will hurt the Labor Party, because their industry funds are run by their union mates. You get the picture? Labor used to be the party of the worker. Now they're the party of intellectuals and academics, trendies and inner city elites. And that's the truth. They have truly lost their way. And they're in the process of losing their constituency, because I can tell you this: there are more working people out there than there are intellectuals and academics. Labour has charted a very strange course, closer to Karl Marx than anything else. I got to go, Pete? I got to go. Okay. All right. I don't mean to get so heated about it, but as I say, I have no axe to grind apart from the fact that I see it as being so stupid to disincentivize this entire country, and particularly the young people, and then have the hide to stand up there and say, this is an aspirational budget. My God. Anyway, it's June the 4th. The 4th of June. The Battle of Dunkirk occurred on this day. Dunkirk was sort of in the wars over the years. England versus Holland. 1666. Okay. Now, 1940, a few years on down the track, on this day, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill delivers his famous "We shall fight on the seas and the oceans," and he went on to say the beaches and the streets, and God bless him. That was a speech to the House of Commons. Same day, 1940, the British complete the miracle of Dunkirk, which I mentioned a moment ago, by evacuating 338,226 Allied troops from France via a flotilla of over 800 vessels, including, there were some destroyers, merchant marine boats, but mostly fishing boats, pleasure craft, and lifeboats. Golly. 1944, same day, General Eisenhower cancels planned D-Day invention on June 5th after receiving unfavourable weather reports. Moved it from the 5th to the 6th. Henry Ford drives the first Ford through the streets of Detroit.
Indeed.
Yep, I bet it was a black one. 1896 was the year. Rochefort cheese, created in a cave near Rochefort, France, in 1070. Sort of opportunism, isn't it? I mean, they found this cheese and covered with mould, and they said, hey, this is not a problem, it's a marketing opportunity. Who wants to buy mouldy cheese? Everybody! Very tasty. The patent for the ATM is granted to Don Wetzel, Tom Barnes, and George Chastian on this day in 1973. And now they want to get rid of them. I don't know. Oh dear. 1781, that's going back. 1781 BC, the oldest Chinese recording of a solar eclipse. A few years on, 1769, a transit of Venus is followed 5 hours later by a total solar eclipse, the shortest such interval in history. That was the one that Captain Cook must have been sent out to observe. The transit of Venus, and hence the discovery of Australia. Pageant of 1671. French claimed possession of lands from the northern and western seas to the southern seas, including lands not yet discovered. In a ceremony at a Jesuit mission in Canada. in 1671. I like that. Go out there and claim this, 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 and anything else that's around the place, we'll just just collect it up. It's all right. They must have been very interesting days. I love that sort of adventuring. American actress Janet Leigh, 23, weds American actor Tony Curtis, 26, in Greenwich, Connecticut, with Jerry Lewis as a witness. They divorced in 62, but that was the wedding day in 1951. Dennis Weaver, American actor, Chester in Gunsmoke, Dennis Weaver didn't have a limp, by the way. He had a limp in Gunsmoke, but he kind of characterized that. He worked that into the character. He was in this first movie that Steven Spielberg ever made, his first movie, which was called? Duel. Right. Duel. The truck chasing the car. And not a word was said in the entire movie. Very, very good movie. Anyway, that was Dennis Weaver. He was born in Joplin, Missouri. He died in 2006, but born in 1924. Dr. Frederick Banting is knighted for his co-discovery of insulin, which revolutionized the treatment of diabetes and saved countless lives. God bless you, sir. 1934 was the year. The Tiananmen Square, and we mentioned this on Tuesday, when they were all sort of positioning themselves around the square. Tiananmen Square massacre occurred on this day. A few days later, Chinese troops cleared the square of student protesters. Unofficial figures placed the death toll at over 1,000 kids. And they got away with it. Never hear anyone mention it. United Nations never said anything. 1989 was the year, and Catherine Rosalind Russell, American stage and screen actress, His Girl Friday, Auntie Mame, Gypsy, born in Connecticut, died in 1976, born this day in 1907. Have we got to go, Pete?
I reckon so.
Yeah, okay. One more. 1984, Columbia Records released Bruce Springsteen's 7th studio album, Born in the U.S.A. Born in the U.S.A. His biggest commercial success that topped the charts in 11 countries and sold over 30 million copies worldwide. The Boss. Thank you very much for being with us. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We have some very interesting guests. No, I'll keep that under my hat at the moment. I just got to confirm a few. But we do have a lot of fun on a Friday around the dining room table. JeremyCordeaux.com, 9 to 12. Tune in. You can get us on, what's that thing called, the app?
Simple Radio.
Simple Radio.
And if they hit the subscribe button on JeremyCordeaux.com,
yep,
you'll bob up in front of them every Tuesday and Thursday morning.
And we would love to do that. Bobbing up in front of you would be a great honour. Thank you for viewing the Court of Public Opinion, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeremy Cordeaux. Believe in yourself. And goodbye for now.